Pursuant to Section 3 of the Declaration of Emergency Directive 006, there will be no in-person attendance at this meeting. The public may view the meeting live at the city's website. Items listed on the agenda may be taken out of order. 2 or more agenda items for consideration may be combined, and any item on the agenda may be removed or related discussion may be delayed at any time. We will now call this October 6th, 2020 Allotment Committee to order. The first item is public comment. Public comment during this portion of the agenda may be limited to matters on the agenda for action. Each person has up to 5 minutes to speak on a specific agenda item. Members of the public may call 702-589-9629. Again, that number is 702-589-9629. Hearing that we have no comments at this time, we will close the first public comment period for the meeting and begin with agenda item 1, possible action, election of officers. Staff, please provide an overview.
Good evening, committee. It's been a while since we have met. Each year when the committee convenes after July, it's the time to select a new chair and vice chair for the committee. There are currently only 4 members on the committee, but it's appropriate to move forward with the selection of the chair and the vice chair. And so how you would do that this evening is someone can make a motion nominating somebody as chair. It would require a second. And then if there are no other nominations and seconds, then as acting chair, you could ask for a motion to close the nominations. And if everyone approves, then that individual selected will be selected by acclamation. And then you would move on to the vice chair. Now, if there are 2 people nominated, then you'd close the opportunity for nominations, and then simply by raising hands, you would call out the first name and see who supports the first name, and then call out the second name. Everybody would only vote for one person for each chair and vice chair. Are there any questions?
Is the vote by voice or by raise of hand?
By raise of hand. Oh, can we get the mic? Turn on the mic.
Turn on, press the button where it says press on the bottom of it. I've cleaned them off, so you're good. Oh. It disinfected everything.
that much. I nominate Sherry Jorgensen.
I second it.
Any other nominations?
Do I leave?
Now call for,
Okay, all in favor or a vote?
first,
Or
a
the
motion
vice.
to close the nominations.
Okay, motion to close the nomination. Do I have one? I'll second that.
I think
I
you
moved.
did it first and second.
Okay.
So
Okay.
then now a vote to close nominations.
Okay, so now we'll vote to close nominations. Those in favor
Say
of
aye.
Sherry Jorgensen being the chairperson, please show.
Well,
Or
actually,
technically?
yeah, technically what you're doing is you're asking for a vote to close the nominations.
Okay,
And by everyone voting aye, then by acclamation, you will be the chair.
okay, are we ready for this to try again? So do I have a vote to close the nomination?
Everyone say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All right, so
Okay.
that was unanimous, and you are our chair.
Okay, so now I will learn to be the chairperson. Now we will open it for the nomination of vice chair. Do I have any motions for that?
I'll nominate Teresa.
I'll second.
Okay, we
I
have,
nominate Rebecca.
Oh, good.
Okay, now ask for a vote to close the nominations.
okay.
All in favor?
All in
say-
favor of closing the nominations at this time? Aye.
Okay.
Okay, it looks like we have two put up for vice chair. So at this time, starting with the first nomination, those who, we just vote publicly, right?
Yeah, just raise your hands for those.
And Teresa, I don't know your last name, I'm sorry.
Beaver.
Okay, those in favor for Teresa?
I thought you said, don't we just have one nomination?
Your mic's not on. I got it.
Okay. Don't we just have one nomination, Teresa?
No, Teresa was nominated, after which then Teresa nominated Rebecca, and you seconded both.
It's lack of oxygen from the mask.
It's completely okay.
Yes. Oh,
So currently,
more.
out is Teresa. Those in favor of Teresa for being the vice chair,
Raise your hands.
raise your hand.
No, who wants it more?
I'm guessing you don't want to be.
I've only done one meeting.
Oh, you don't want to be?
I've only been to one.
Can't hear you. What?
Okay,
All
so
right, so there was no hands raised.
no hands raised
Sorry.
currently for that nomination. So the second nomination is Rebecca Ballister. Those in favor, please raise your hand.
Aye.
Okay, it looks like it's 4
So it's unanimous.
and unanimous. So Rebecca Ballister will be the vice chair.
All right,
So
thank
that,
you.
do I have a motion to close? Do I need to close each agenda item?
No, you don't need a motion to close the agenda item. Since that business has been conducted, now you can move on to agenda item number 2.
Okay, so we will now move on to agenda item number 2, which is for possible action. It's approval of the minutes of the September 30th, 2019 regular meeting, which is the last meeting.
I move to approve those minutes.
I second that.
And now we need a vote.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, the minutes are approved.
Okay, thank you. So on to the third item.
Okay. So the third item on the agenda for possible action is AFDA-20-193, Eric Stafford, on properties 362 and 364 of Cat's Eye Drive. The committee will review an application for 2 residential allotments for the construction year of 2020 to 2021 pursuant to Title 11, Chapter 41 of the City Code.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll do a brief staff overview, and then I can call the applicant so that you can ask the applicant of any questions. So, Eric Stafford with Magnum Contracting is requesting 2 allotments to build 2 single-family homes on Cat's Eye, as the chair noted, 362 and 364. In your packet, you have the site plan showing the location of the 2 properties. You have floor plans and elevations for the 2 proposed single-family homes, and proposed landscaping for each of the properties. And I'm just kind of going through the screen here showing the 2 properties for your consideration. Per the Growth Control Ordinance, the Allotment Committee is required to rate these homes. For single-family homes, there are only 4 criteria that you need to consider. They include architectural design and quality, site design, layout, landscaping and building color, and safety and security. A max of 45 points based on the 4 criteria can be awarded by each committee member. Each member, after hearing the presentation and discussing the proposal and talking to the applicant, will fill out the form that's in front of you on the dais. You'll print your name and sign it, and then you will put your points, total number of points, and as you can see on the form, there is a maximum number of points for each of the categories, and you would put what you feel is an appropriate ranking under the ratings, and then total those points. Then I will ask you for your numbers, and then I will combine them, and I will come up with a percentage of the total numbers that could be awarded versus your score, and that percentage is then a motion that you will make to recommend to the City Council your rating. Are there any questions about that process? Okay. If the chair wants, I can call the applicant, and then you can you can ask the applicant any questions.
That would be great.
All right.
Your call has been forwarded to an audit.
Well, we can wait a couple minutes. I can try again. We did contact both the applicants to let them know that we would be calling them. So perhaps he was unable to pick up. So if you want to deliberate, and then I can call again in a couple of minutes.
That would be great. Are there any questions for the applicant currently? Have you looked at the information that was sent to you, and have any of them, you can't hear me, I'm sorry. Have you looked at the applications, and have any of them come to your mind that you'd like to ask?
Not really. I had no questions. I thought they were really beautiful homes. I thought they fit the area perfectly, and I think that with the way the market is right now, that they'll go quickly, and I was just wondering how quickly they thought that they would get them built. But, I mean, that really doesn't have any bearing on this. But I thought they looked really, really nice for that area, especially with the RV parking.
Yeah, and their landscape looked totally compliant with saving the water that needs to be saved. So, I mean, it looked nice to me, too. Do you feel comfortable proceeding then with the rating?
Yeah, it certainly doesn't require discussing with the applicant, so you could proceed if you want to do so.
I'm comfortable.
I am, too.
So at this time, if each of you want to individually fill out the forms and just let me know when you are done, and then I can do what I need to do to create the percentage calculation.
Just noting it asked about safety, individual safety and security provided in the design. I noted that it's on a cul-de-sac, but since these streets were previously, made or designed, clearly it follows the regulations needed for the fire department to come in.
Yes, that's a correct assumption.
Okay.
And just to kind of further elaborate on that, the reason why you only have 4 of the total of the 9 criteria to evaluate is that you're looking at individual homes. So typically with an entire subdivision, you're looking at 9 criteria. And so a lot of those factors were taken into consideration at that time.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Is everyone complete with your numbers? Okay, well then why don't I just need your total, so we'll just kind of go around the dais. So 43. Okay.
I'm sorry, 43.
Okay.
39.
All right, thank you.
45.
45.
All right. Okay, so the total percentage score, and it's always 4 digits, is 9556. So what I'd be looking for from the committee this evening is to make a motion to recommend to the City Council the allotment committee's score.
I recommend you submit the allotment committee score.
Okay. A second?
I second the recommendation of the 95.56%.
So all in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right. It's unanimous. Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to agenda item number 4 for possible action. It is AFDA-17-188, Storybook Homes. It is to review the application for 30 residential reservations for construction year 2021 to 2022.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will just do a brief overview of the staff report. And again, we do have the applicant that we can call and answer any questions that you might have. So the Allotment Committee reviewed this request in 2018. And at that time, on March 26, 2018, the Allotment Committee rated it at 82.61. And so what you're not considering this tonight is a reevaluation of the rating. That's already been accomplished. But anytime a applicant needs to request additional allotments or reservations, that's when they come back before the committee for consideration. And so what they are asking for this evening is for 30 reservations for the construction year 21-22. You can see on the screen the Boulder Hills Estates subdivision. It's a 127 lot subdivision. To date, 63 permits have been issued within that subdivision in the first 2 phases, which is the green and light blue. Storybook has yet to close on phase 3, but they have indicated their intention to do so, and will be proceeding with that over the next several months. As you're considering the reservation request by Storybook, what I wanted to share with the committee is a chart which shows the history of allotments approved in comparison to the maximum number of allotments that are allowed per our growth control ordinance. So as you can see on the screen and also in your packet, the green references in each construction year, which starts on July 1st of each year, ends on June 30th of the following year. It shows the total number or maximum number of allotments that can be allocated. In blue, you see each corresponding year how many allotments were approved, first by this committee and then subsequently by the City Council. And so what this chart really shows is that within the last dozen years, the city has allocated only a portion of the total allotments permitted per year. So in many cases, it literally, with 120 that could be permitted, you're looking at 12, 8, some single digits. And of course, in the last couple of years, the allotments have increased, 30 going to Storybook Homes. And you can see that with construction year 2021, it is noted in yellow. That means reservations, not allotments. So Storybook has received previously reservations for that construction year. They have not converted them to allotments yet. And for the construction year in question for tonight, 21-22, there have been no requests for either reservations or allotments. So any questions about that chart before I call Isaac Summers with Storybook? Yes.
So just asking to reserve those,
Tonight, they're just asking for the reservations.
and then
correct?
it would be further approved past that, okay.
Right.
Is that the maximum number allowed per year? And if not, how many more can be allowed?
Yes, if we go back to the chart, so the green, that represents the 120 that is potentially permitted. And so clearly within the last dozen years, we've come nowhere near that maximum number.
Can you be specific how much one entity is allowed to request in one calendar year? How many reservation of lots?
That is a very good question. So a development can only request up to 30 each year. So that's where, in Storybook's example, they have been making requestments over several construction years.
The total number of lots in that development is how many?
127.
127. So it would take them multiple years to be able to build out that site.
Correct. They have currently active 20 allotments and the 30 reservations that were noted on the chart for construction year 2021. So a total of 50. Now, the other consideration, part of the reason that Storybook is asking for reservations for the subsequent construction year, is that if they do not pull a building permit within a year of receiving that allotment, it automatically expires. And in fact, that's happened with Storybook since they originally came to the committee. They've had several of their allotments expire because they were unable to use them. And certainly as they're trying to plan for the next 2 years for construction activity, it's market driven. And so that's part of the reason why they're asking for the reservations for 21-22 construction year. Any other questions?
So they have not exercised their current reservations, probably because of the pandemic and market being driven lower than usual.
And because they're still utilizing the prior allotments that they had received.
Okay.
But those allotments will expire on January 14th. And so at that time, they will be asking to convert the reservations, the 30 reservations for construction year 2021 to allotments.
Okay. So are you asking us if we want to talk with him?
Yeah, if you'd like, I can give him a call.
Do you guys have questions regarding this? Sorry, do you guys have questions regarding this that you'd like to ask?
So I get, and maybe I'm being obtuse here, they have 67 of the 127 potential, but 67 are currently built on or have permits pulled?
63 permits have been issued.
63 permits, so that includes existing homes that people are living in?
Correct.
Okay, and they want to go with 127?
There are 127 lots within the subdivision.
Okay.
So, for example, because there are 127 lots in the subdivision, and they have already received 63 building permits, obviously they need an additional 64 allotments to complete the development.
Two more.
Now, currently, with the 20 allotments plus the 30 reservations, there are 50 that would be available. So they would only need an additional 14. However, if they do not pull building permits on the remaining 20 allotments by January 14th, then they lose those. Hence the reason why they're asking for the 30 reservations for construction year 21-22.
Okay.
So the projected 30 would be lower at that time because they wouldn't have pulled or actioned on those. So the yellow right here where it says 30, then that actual number would be lower if they didn't act on them.
Well, that's reservations. So certainly they could only ask to convert 20 of those reservations to allotments if they wanted to, or they could ask for the full 30. It provides them the opportunity as they weigh through the market and market demand to be able to complete the development and still comply with the growth control ordinance.
Can we move to motion?
Certainly.
I motion to approve the reservation for 30 allotments for Storybook Homes for 2021.
Do we need a second?
I second that.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second to approve the allotment of 30 allotments for 2021 and 2022 for Storybook Homes.
But just to clarify, Chair, reservations.
Oh, reservations, thank you. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, looks like the motion carries and that Storybook will be granted the 30 allotments for 21, 22. Or reservations. And that's what I meant. Okay, with that being done, we'll move to item 5 on the agenda, which is public comment. Each person has up to 5 minutes to speak at the discretion of the chair, which is me. Is this a time when they may call in again?
Correct.
And we have the phone number up there again. The phone number that you may call is 702-589-9629. And again, that number is 702-589-9629.
Allotment Committee public comment.
Hi, this is Isaac Summers. I'd like to offer a comment.
Please go ahead.
I was just calling to welcome everybody to the Allotment Committee. I know this is a new committee. I just wanted to introduce myself. I kind of followed along the conversation, and I think it was presented very well. And I think understood by everybody that what the reservations, how we convert those to allotments, kind of the timing based on market demand, forecasting, all that stuff considered. So just not sure what everybody knows about Storybook Homes, but we're a local Las Vegas builder. We've been here for 16, almost 17 years, developing in the Las Vegas Valley. We ventured into Boulder City about a little more than 2 years ago. Well, before that, when we started our initial planning and discussions with the development team out there. But we've had a great experience with Boulder City, and everything's been been very good to work with. Everybody's been very good to work with, and we look forward to future years in developing Boulder City. And I just wanted to again thank you guys and say welcome to the Allotment Committee, and I look forward to working with everybody in the future.
All right. Thank you, Isaac.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Okay.
Sorry, just call out one more time.
Again, comment time is still open, and that phone number is 702-589-9629, 702-589-9629. Okay, hearing no further comments, we appreciate Isaac Summers for his comment and phoning in. And we will be closing the second public comment period. And since there are no more agenda items, is that correct?
Correct? You can
Okay.
call the meeting adjourned.
Do we have to have a motion to adjourn?
No.
No? Call the meeting adjourned then.
All right. Thank you. Yes, if you could sign those scoring sheets and then give them to me on your way out.